This is hilarious. Starbucks has not had a great year for sales. They're down several percent from last year, but apparently their CEO is very confident that they're not going to lose any more customers. Here's why. The CEO of Starbucks said it's on its way to becoming a world-class customer service company. This article from Fortune talks about it in more detail. The article says, as inflation and economic uncertainty rattles consumers, Brian Niccol, Starbucks CEO, he said that Starbucks' solution to getting back on track financially is not lowering the cost of their extremely overpriced, nasty coffee. He believes the commitment to craft and quality and great customer service will bring them back to glory. Here are some of the specific changes they're going to make, and this is pretty outrageous. The CEO said that he wants to return the company back to its roots as a cozy third space where customers can leisurely sip their beverages. Hey, I agree. The times that I've been to Starbucks in the last several years, it's felt very corporate. It doesn't feel like a place that you want to go do homework or study or meet up with people. At least in my community, the places for that are the local coffee shops, the family-owned ones. They're more affordable. They're much more cozy. The buildings have character. They have an identity. But Starbucks doesn't. Here's a few of the changes they're going to make to try to make Starbucks what it used to be. The article says the CEO's vision is not just about rebuilding a desire for customers to linger in stores longer, but to build connections with baristas through a series of personal touches, like handwritten notes scribbled on coffee cups. He also said he wants to lean on automation behind the counter in a smaller menu to give baristas more face-to-face time with customers. So to me, the CEO of Starbucks is trying to emulate what Chick-fil-A has done, right? Chick-fil-A has mandated that their employees exhibit a very specific level of customer service to the customers. I don't go to Chick-fil-A anymore, but I was going a couple of years ago. And this might be a hot take, but the Chick-fil-A service felt really forced. It felt fake. You can see it in their eyes right after you say thank you. It's almost as if they have a gun to their head and they're being forced to say my pleasure. A lot of them look miserable. That was just my experience a while back. I'm sure they get paid better than most fast food workers do. I'm sure they get decent benefits. But from the regular person like me, their customer service feels very corporate. It doesn't feel like you're having authentic connections with the staff. And I think that's the intention behind their mandate, for everyone to say my pleasure, for all the employees to be extra, extra kind. But that's the thing, it works for Chick-fil-A because so many people love it, and the people who eat there, Chick-fil-A is their church. But Starbucks doesn't have that level of stan following that other beloved fast food joints do. Most people hate Starbucks, even the people who consume their beverages. Starbucks is often the only place around to get coffee. So many people who have heard of all the awful things that Starbucks has done to their employees, they just turn their brains off to all of that in the past, and they go buy their coffee, and then they drink it, and they don't feel any shame at all. So the Starbucks CEO implementing these new forced customer service improvements, it's not just an attempt to make customers feel more welcome. It's also supposedly going to improve employee morale. Why am I laughing? You know what improves employee morale? Paying them a living wage and not union busting. Do I even need to get into the details? Starbucks workers across the nation have been organizing for union representation for the better part of the last decade. But instead of respecting the employees, Starbucks launched one of the most aggressive union busting campaigns in American history. They fired organizers. They closed stores that were trying to unionize. They shamelessly delayed conversations that they said they were going to have with employees who were leading the unionizing. Starbucks can afford to pay their workers a living wage. In just last year alone, Starbucks made almost $37 billion in revenue with a 10% profit margin. They profited several billions of dollars. Just a small portion of that profit, if given back to the employees, would increase every single employee's salary by $10,000 each per year. That would change lives while still maintaining billions in profit. Do you understand now why everyone hates them? But I guess the same could be true about every corporation, like Walmart, other large retailers who employ many, many thousands of Americans. Yeah, the same thing could be said about them as well. You might be wondering why I had a skeptical attitude from the jump. You might be wondering, do you want Starbucks to fail? Why do you hate Starbucks so much? I don't want the employees to fail, but the organization is a joke. They sell themselves as a progressive company. They do the pride flags on Pride Month. They check off every box when it comes to pandering to the culture war issues that the left generally supports, while at the same time, union busting, underpaying their workers, and prioritizing shareholder profits over its own workers. And the CEO's big fix is, let's write personal messages on the cups? Are you kidding me? Let's not lower the prices. No, 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 no. That $9 shitty latte that I can make at home, that's not too overpriced. It has nothing to do with the customers knowing as they're ordering their drink that the employees are being treated like shit and that any attempt to unionize would likely get them fired. It has nothing to do with when I walk into a Starbucks, it doesn't feel like a coffee shop. It's not cozy, there's no vibes. The place sucks. It's like what they've done at McDonald's. Remember when we were younger? The place had character. It was colorful, it was cozy, and now the inside of every McDonald's looks like an airport bathroom. You walk in and you're just like, eh. Starbucks, if you're listening, for some reason, if you're listening, pay your employees fairly, allow them to unionize, share some of your billions in profit with your employees, and not only will employee morale improve, but the public will support you again. If you let them unionize and pay them a living wage, we will all shop at Starbucks. It's that simple. I want to support businesses that treat their employees well and pay them a living wage. It's that simple.